Amadeus is a play by Peter Shaffer, or Schaefer, however you want to say it, and later made into a 1984 film directed by Milos Forman, starring F. Murray Abraham and Tom Hulce. Now, I want to start off by saying that Amadeus is my personal favorite film of the 80s. It just inches out of the director's cut of Once Upon a Time in America, and it just inches out the miniseries version of Fanny and Alexander. So yeah, my favorite one of the 80s is Amadeus, and for good reason too. I wholeheartedly believe that this is the finest motion picture to ever depict music. When you look at, this is really, it's not musical, but it just happens to be about music. When you look at musicals and movies that are about music, you look at Singing in the Rain, you look at Almost Famous. Well, Amadeus really stands head and shoulders above all of those. And when you look at what makes a great film, when you look at what makes a great film, okay? The acting has to be top notch. The writing has to be top notch. The characters have to be completely fleshed out and original. Should have a good look to it. Should have some good music. Should have a bunch of other things going for it. Like, even if it doesn't receive 15 Oscars like All About Eve, you know, that's okay. But as long as it knocks most of those things out of the park, that's fine. And in the case of Amadeus, everything that makes a good movie is not only knocked out of the park, it's just so far off the charts, it's crazy. And everything else that makes that would make a film great, like the physical set construction of the film, the hair and makeup, it's just insane the way that it's eye candy the way that this film looks. Director Milos Forman, he's done quite a lot of great films, but yeah, when he's able to direct people on how to create the physical stuff looking so good, like you wonder, how the hell does he do that? It's like the best looking film since Barry Lyndon, Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon from 1975, or even My Fair Lady from 1964. That's how gorgeous this film looks. As for the music, so the film is also it's about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Antonio Salieri. So you know that there's going to be opera, there's going to be lots of classical music. Well, the movie really gives you a great appreciation for everything. If you hear whatever you hear in this film, I'm just thinking about it, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just in awe of everything. I'm just starstruck whenever the music happens, because you know that unlike nowadays stuff, you know that people back then were just geniuses when it came to music. And you know, whenever they belt out certain notes, like singing, you're just like, oh my god, that's just amazing. And yeah, so yeah, it gives you a great appreciation for music that you might not be all that comfortable with. Plus it's very scrumptious to look at. Now let's talk about what the movie is actually about. F. Murray Abraham plays Antonio Salieri, who actually was a real composer back in his day. Not really all that big, but but yeah, it's a fictitious film. Okay, so yeah, he's a really good composer. He may not be as good as his arch rival, who is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, but you know, he's still pretty good. And he wants to be as good or even greater than Amadeus is. But he thinks that God has pretty much chosen Mozart to like bring the gift of music into the world. Like he thinks that that all of Mozart's gifts is purely divine. Is purely divine. Now it's pretty interesting, and because of that, Mozart is beyond envious. But we do get to see a lot of Mozart when he was a child, because he's very he's a child prodigy, and he works his butt off throughout the whole thing. We really get to see what makes him so great. And yeah, even though Mozart is, even though he's is a supremely talented composer and a musician, he's seemingly nuts. But with Salieri, even though he totally hates the fact that Mozart is like the biggest composer, he is also, like, Salieri is also one of Mozart's biggest fans and biggest supporters. And what pretty much what Salieri wants to do is to destroy his arch rival. But at the same time, as I said, he really supports him. And his envy really consumes him. So you have one guy who is crazy, who is seemingly crazy but is actually normal, and another guy who is seemingly normal but is actually crazy. Now, everything in this film is just overwhelming to the extreme. This movie is so extreme and just hits you like a ton of bricks. Watching it, you're just like, oh my god. And like, what Milos Forman is somehow able to do with this film is he's somehow able to grab you by your collar, and he pulls you into the movie, and you do not want to get out of this film. It is a ton of fun. It's one of my top 15 favorite films ever out of the 3,500 plus films that I've seen. Yes, I do keep count. So yeah, if I could give this film a million, billion, trillion, zillion stars, I would. But to be fair, I'm going to give it only 4 stars out of 4.